Dean Smith, and this is my five-a-side team. In goal, I've gone for Kevin Pressman. I played with him at the latter end of his career at Sheffield Wednesday, and he was a little bit heavier then than in his pomp, but very good goalkeeper. You knew you had a safe goalkeeper behind you, and I think in a five-a-side goal certainly there'd be very few goals that went past him. First outfield player would be the best player I've played with, in my opinion, and that was Derek Staven. Again, at the latter end of his career, he came to Walsall. He was established at West Bromwich Albion and Southampton in the old First Division, which is now the Prem, and a number of England caps as well, and he'd have got a lot more if it hadn't been for Kenny Sansom. Fantastic player, never gave the ball away, and in a five-a-side team you couldn't have won anyone better. I'd go for two midfielders then. I'd go for another one who was at the end of his career and who had a tremendous influence on my own career, was Paddy Grealish. Tony was a player coach at Walsall. I knew him earlier though through a friend of mine, Pat Hurd, and very combative midfielder, break things up and give it to others. He was like a Jack Russell around people's heels all the time, and led Brighton out in the cup final against Manchester United. Had an established career with Manchester City and West Bromwich Albion, and yeah, he'd be in there as my bit of grit in midfield. Martin Ling, yeah, I have to get Lingy in there. I've got Paddy in there because Lingy wouldn't make a tackle. I don't think he's ever made a tackle in his life. In five-a-sides he was just more content on getting nutmegs, but he was a very talented player, and you know, Glenn Hoddle thought he was good enough to be the driving force to get Swindon promoted, so who am I to argue against Glenn? Yeah, I mean, you need goals, and I was wondering who to go for. There's a number of players. Wayne Clark was one of them when I was at Walsall, scored a load of goals. Carl Griffiths at Orient, but I'm going for Gary Shaw. You know, I watched him when he was in his pomp at Villa, and he was unbelievable. European Footballer of the Year, European Cup winner, and he came to Walsall. You know, he had to quit very early for injury, but we used to play in the old car park at the back of Fellas Park, and I've never seen a touch as good as his and a finisher as good as him. So for me, Gary Shaw certainly. I'm Dean Smith, and that was my five-a-side winning team.